about I ask you, what is your definition of war? What is your principle of war?
I'll give you my principle
Yeah, please
because
do.
that might help us understand each other better. My principle is very simple. It's like the Constitution says in the common defense of the states. If we are attacked or we're in imminent threat of attack, we go to war. Other reasons, like whether you harbor or not a terrorist, is not sufficient reason to go to war because it's not self-defense. That's my principle.
I agree with you.
Okay, well, so there's a different principle. That's why I'm struggling on this issue.
No, I'm
so that's
struggling
why I
because
would
I
not
thought
I would not go to war with Pakistan. I would put pressure on them. I would withdraw aid. Which
But at
we are
some
giving them
point-
right now. We're giving them aid.
Yeah, of course.
And
We give aid
it's
to a lot of
ridiculous.
people we shouldn't be giving aid
It's
to.
ridiculous for us to give them aid, but I wouldn't go to war, and I wouldn't have gone to war in Afghanistan either because they had some terrorist camps there. I would have just bombed
They had
it.
some terrorist
well,
camps.
okay, you
They
asked me
were
what I
run
would have
by
done. Well, let me
terrorists.
tell you what I think we
Okay,
should
they
have
were
done.
run by terrorists.
Instead of invading Afghanistan and throwing 200,000 troops in there and trying to control the country and getting in that quagmire for 15 years and spending all that money and all those poor soldiers dying, I would have done like you were suggesting. Bomb the hell out of those terrorist camps. That's all we had to do. It's cheap and people don't die. That's the difference.
But war is death.
No, I'm saying
war is death. That's what happens.
we had
in
to
war.
bomb the terrorists. The Taliban, who cares? They're a horrible government. But it's not our business.
The Taliban's a horrible government? The
Yes.
Taliban is a
Was.
terrorist organization.
No, the Taliban when they
The
were.
Taliban
I'm
is
talking
a
about.
terrorist organization.
I'm talking about when they were the government of Afghanistan. You recall when we went into Afghanistan, the government was the Taliban. Now they're out. But what I'm saying is we didn't have to control the country. We don't have to get involved in their stupid disputes and their irrational wars that are going on between the various sects and the various parties over there. All we had to do was bomb bin Laden, and if we needed to send in some special troops to mop up the aftermath of the bombing, we send those in too. And we care less about the Taliban and their government. At the time, they had a government. And we don't have all these GIs die for nothing, and we don't have to have that great expense. That would be, you asked me what I would have done. So if we apply my principle, we wouldn't have gone to war in Afghanistan, and we don't go to war with Pakistan. We certainly don't give them aid. Look where we are right now. Right now we are in Afghanistan.
We actually pulled out of Afghanistan.
Well, so somewhat, and we send
No,
people in.
Yeah, but we pulled our troops out.
Yeah.
That was Obama. Don't take away from poor Obama. That was one of his good.
Oh
like,
my
that's one
goodness!
of
It
the
took forever.
Right?
It
Like, but
took
it's
forever, and they're still involved in the
All right,
politics
so let's
and the
talk
money.
about Palestinians. You want to talk Palestinians? Let's do
Okay,
this.
so-
Right. So, what do you feel about Palestine?
So what I would have done if I was the Israelis, I would have done this like 20 years ago at least. So obvious to me. I don't see why they couldn't figure it out. Instead of trying to get a good negotiating position like they tried there to say, well, if you sign this peace accord, then we'll give you your territory. If you do this, if you recognize Israel's right to exist, which is both are correct, then we'll give you your territory. I would have simply said, look, here's the wall. Here's the line. This is yours, Palestine. You are your own country. We're not going to do any checking on who comes into you or what relations you have with other countries. But know this, if you attack us, we're going to obliterate you. And you are a country, and that's a declaration of war, and we will obliterate you. So you do whatever you want, but just know that. And that's it. If they venture to be stupid, because the Palestinians are even stupider, and they attacked Israel, then they should go in with their troops and wipe them out.
Okay, but you see, you brought up before you're talking about the Taliban, right? The Taliban was the legitimate government in Afghanistan. However,
Yeah.
they still were a terrorist organization even then. even then, they were suppressing women. Okay, Afghanistan,
Well,
the Middle East,
they
the
are-
Middle East of
they
the
are
70s
religious-
was a very different place.
They are religious
women,
zealots.
Women
They
were,
are. This is a theocracy.
Yeah, but
It's like Iran. It's a
okay.
theocracy. They're religious zealots. They have horrible laws. It's unfair, and my view is, let them live with their misery. It's not our business. We are not the world policemen, because I don't want to pay for it. I don't want my brother to die over there for it.
I completely agree with you, and I think that's what Mr. Trump is doing, right? Is that, listen, we need to take care of our own.
Well,
We
that's
have
a good thing that
major
Mr. Trump
problems
is
in
doing.
This country, right?
Our
We
president
have
is
major
smarter.
problems in this country. We need to take care of our own. We need to clean up the inner cities. We need to get people to work. We need to do all this stuff before we go and police the world. I completely
Absolutely.
agree with
Those
you.
should be our
Right.
priorities. Why don't we
However-
finish this interview on an agreement?
Let's do it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.